Yo, guys, if you want to get a six pack from home, you're definitely going to want to hear this. So, I just wanted to tell you guys my story. So, if you're like me, at some point in your life, maybe even right now, you are or you've been overweight, whether it's because of work, stress, relationships, kids, responsibilities, for whatever reason, right now, you're carrying anywhere from 25 to 35% body fat, maybe even higher than that, right? You probably don't have any time. You probably don't want to spend hours in the gym. You probably have a lot of responsibilities, but deep down, you know that you should be making your health a priority. Obviously, aside from the looks, just from the health side of things, obviously it's not fun when you have to walk up those flight of stairs and everybody else is fine, but then you notice you're crazy out of breath and it doesn't feel good. You put your shirts on and then your belly's hanging out. You go to the swimming pool, the beach, and you're getting those looks. It's not a fun experience. But the thing is that, especially psychologically, there's a massive barrier for you to be able to actually go from the state that you're in right now to actually being lean and having a six pack and having those visible abs that you've always dreamed of. Maybe you've never had abs before, been overweight your entire life, or maybe you used to have abs back in the day when you were a teenager, but now it's like your age is starting to get up there, right? Maybe you're in your late 20s, 30s, maybe even 40s or 50s, and you're just not built like you used to be. Maybe you're in a relationship and you notice that your woman's not as attracted to you as she used to be. Maybe you've seen her giving other men looks when you were at the beach or you were at the swimming pool. And deep down, you just want to be in a better physical condition than you are right now. But the thing that's always been holding you back is, how do you get there? You've probably gone to the gym before and maybe you felt uncomfortable there. You felt out of place. You felt like you didn't really know what you were doing. Or maybe you did go there and do your best, but after about 4 or 5 weeks of seeing no progress, you started to think, okay, what's the point? You're exhausting yourself after work, spending all this time in the gym, trying to change your eating habits, and 6 weeks have gone by and there's nothing to show for it. Your weight hasn't significantly dropped. And for some of you, you actually gained weight after going to the gym. So I get it. It's very difficult to put work in every single day and then look in the mirror and see zero progress. Not many people are going to be able to continue to work hard in a situation where their work isn't seeing results, which makes sense. But what I wanted to give to you guys and what I wanted to share with you guys is how I managed to drop body fat in about 60 days or so. And I've managed to keep that body fat off without spending hours in the gym and without having to give up a massive time commitment to my fitness goals. Because I'm not sure about you guys, but for me, my time's important, right? I have a lot of stuff going on. And to just disregard everything that I have in my life and just to start spending 3 hours a day in the gym or even just 2 hours a day in the gym, it's not really feasible, especially when you take into account the commute time. You got to get your bags ready, and then you're getting to sleep late, and it's affecting your work performance. It's affecting you in other areas of life because you don't have the energy. The thing is, you want to get in shape, but you understand and I understand that there's only so much time that you can give towards a fitness goal because you have responsibilities. So I just wanted to share what helped me drop massive amounts of body fat in a very short amount of time with a very limited time commitment, because I think that would be helpful for a lot of you guys. So the first thing that I did to help me out on this journey was I sat down, and it only took me maybe about 10 minutes or so. I probably could have got it done earlier if I had someone helping me. But realistically, all I did was I sat down and I just started listing out what I eat typically on a daily basis. And then I looked at the list and I thought to myself, you know what? I'm going to start small because anytime you hear about someone who's achieved their fitness goals, you always hear about consistency. So I thought to myself, what is the easiest thing I can do and the simplest thing I can do that will start putting me in the right direction for fat loss and to get those abs and to get that six pack? So when I looked at the list, I just picked one thing, or to be honest, I actually ended up picking out two things that I felt, one, I could stop eating this every day, and two, it definitely helped me to lose fat. So for the first 2 weeks, all I did was remove two items out of my diet. And I kid you not, I literally dropped 3 kilos. That's roughly about 7, 8 pounds just from removing one thing out of my diet. And the other thing I did was to write down everything that I consumed. This did like two things for me. So the thing that I chose to stop doing, there were two habits that I had, right? So I was eating a lot of cheese and I also had a lot of honey in my diet, right? So obviously honey, it was raw honey as well, like the really high quality stuff, that stuff that you get from the bee farm. Local honey is packed with lots of enzymes and a lot of stuff in there is really good for you. But just when it comes to fat loss, obviously there is sugar in it. So obviously reducing your sugar helps to keep your insulin spikes down, which actually helps you to drop body fat faster. And obviously with the cheese, it's very high in fat. And when you combine fats and sugar, that's how you keep weight on. So that's why, me personally, that's why I decided to remove that from my diet, because that was something I was eating a lot of. Obviously, it was also quite expensive as well. So it actually saved me some money. I still was eating a lot of foods that I enjoy. So it was something that I could remove from my diet quite easily and quite simply. So I ended up removing that. And I was also as well tracking what I was eating. So what actually happens when you start writing down what you eat every day is you start to just become more conscious and more aware of your decisions. And when your decisions are highlighted like that, it just makes you think twice before you eat garbage, basically, right? If I'm writing down everything I'm going to eat and I know I want to lose weight, I don't want to write down that I ate 5 chocolate bars and gummy ones. You're going to look at it and then you're just going to think to yourself, why am I doing this, right? It goes against my goal. Writing stuff down, it really helps with your consistency because it gets you to focus more, right? If I wake up and throughout the day, anytime I decide to eat, all I did was type it out on my phone. It's not like I had sat there and like I tracked every single calorie. No, I just kept it really simple, right? So for instance, if I had some ground beef, right, my beef mince, maybe I had roughly around 300 grams, maybe roughly something like that. I would just write that down. I was like, I had 300 grams of beef mince. I had 300 grams of lamb, and I would just estimate really. To be honest, I don't know the exact amount of food I ate every single day. I just knew a rough estimate, and I didn't even know how many calories were in it at first either. I think just the fact that I was writing stuff down, it just naturally deterred me from eating junk food, right? It's just the accountability that every single time you write something down, it's actively reminding you that you're on a fit loss journey and you have fitness goals. So anytime something goes against that, it almost creates cognitive dissonance. What I mean by that is if everything I do when I wake up is focused on my fitness goals and me achieving those goals, and something comes along that's going to take me away from those goals, I'm less likely to engage in that because every single decision I made today has already put me in the right path. So if something then comes up that would take me off my path, I'm less likely to do that because I'm already focused and on track with where I'm going. And I think just writing down what I'm eating just made such a profound impact because it just kept me focused throughout the day. And as I said, I dropped literally about 7 to 8 pounds that in the first 2 weeks. And in fact, I believe it was in the first 2 days actually. I remember because I was actually writing down my weight every day on the whiteboard. And I'm pretty sure I actually dropped 3 kilos within the first 10 days. So just being able to just writing down what you eat and taking out 1 to 2 things that are bad for you, chances are you could probably drop 7 to 8 pounds just doing that. And obviously that's not a massive time commitment. It takes me 5 seconds to type in on my phone that I ate some beef and lamb. It's so simple and it's effective. So I definitely recommend you guys to write down what you're eating and just remove 1 or 2 things that are bad for you. And that will definitely help you get started. And I think another thing that helped with was just gaining momentum. Because a lot of times when people start, they have these massive expectations of, I want to drop X amount of weight and I want to do it as quickly as possible. And I want that scale to go down immediately. And it's almost in a lot of cases it kind of sets you up for failure because you get so hyped up and then when the progress is a lot slower than what you anticipated, it's very discouraging. But when you just sort of build into it, right, doing the little things and becoming more and more conscious slowly over time, it almost like it just naturally becomes ingrained. It just naturally becomes a part of your lifestyle and your habits because you've just You're just slowly but surely just moving in a direction of someone who's going to be in shape. And it's always the little things that just add up over time. You just be so surprised how it works so well. And then after those first 2 weeks, another thing that I added in that was really simple was I just started going for a walk in the morning. Maybe it was only 30 minutes. If I was short on time, maybe I only walked 10 minutes that day. But some days I felt good. I actually ended up walking for an hour. I didn't even realize it. But it's just those really tiny things. I think with the walking, obviously it's steady state cardio, which is actually really powerful for fat loss because when your body's doing steady state cardio, so that's, for those of you who don't know, that's basically just cardio that you're doing that's really simple, basically something like walking. Basically, you're doing cardio, but you're not going to lose your breath doing it. So, right? So something like walking really fast, that might not necessarily be steady state cardio, right? Just a casual walk, just literally just a casual stroll down the road. And that will help you burn fat because your body actually uses fat as energy when you do steady state cardio, as opposed to when you do the high intensity stuff like running and sprinting. Your body actually burns glucose when you do that. So steady state cardio, it's actually an underrated gem when it comes to fat loss. So definitely you wanna, if you're not walking already, you probably want to start walking. You definitely want to start walking. But again, it's just those incremental steps, right? So it started off with just cutting out just one thing that I know I shouldn't be eating if I want to lose weight. Then I started writing stuff down, and now my mind's slowly getting more and more focused on this fat loss journey. Then I started walking, and then you turn that into a habit, and then after a while, it's going well, and you start noticing, oh, the scale's going down. And then you start to feel a bit better about yourself. You start thinking, actually, I want to do more. And then you start doing your push-ups and your sit-ups every morning. And it's just this really basic and simple routine, but it just creates such a mindset shift because it's done consistently and it's done daily. And it just gets you in the right state of mind to burn fat. And obviously, paying attention to your diet is extremely important, but you're just taking a step closer and closer every day. It's just so underrated for a fat loss journey. All right, and I really wanted to share that with you guys because a lot of times in the fitness community, everyone will give you all the information about what to do, but when it comes on how to do it and the mindset that you need to actually be able to stay consistent, a lot of times that's actually lacking. And that's the information that people don't have. And a lot of times that causes people to fail on their fit loss journey. So with this one, I'm actually going to do another video on what foods I ate and what diet I use so I could actually drop the body fat and go from being overweight to having visible abs and being lean. Just so that way you guys can have more motivation and understand what's possible, and also so that way you can have an example of what you can do to get in shape and to help you lose that body fat, because obviously that's what you want. So if you feel like that would be useful, obviously just like the video or leave a comment down below if you want to know what type of diet I focused on to drop the body fat. The second thing obviously is that getting in shape and dropping weight, actually it really changed my life just mentally. I'm just in a much stronger position, and it's also allowed me to just be so much better and more involved in everything else that I do in my life. So it's really just improved my life for the better. So obviously that's part of the reason why I wanted to go out and help other people on their fitness journey, so that way they can obviously experience what it's like to go from being overweight to having those visible abs and just feeling good about yourself. So if you do want some extra help with getting in shape, we do offer one-on-one coaching. Obviously that is at a cost, right? Nothing in this life is for free. But if you are willing to invest, obviously your health is the most important thing in life, and you really have to take care of it because you only get one body. So if you do need that extra help and you really want to get in shape as soon as possible and you want those abs as quickly as possible, and you don't want to spend time trying to figure out everything on your own, because obviously that takes a lot of time and effort, then we do offer one-on-one coaching. You can just reach out to us on WhatsApp, or you can check out the links on the channel, or you can fill out one of the forms that we have on the channel as well. But I hope this has been helpful. Getting in shape really changes lives. It's really underrated how much better your life will be once you do get in shape, just because your quality of life goes up so much more. You got more energy for the things that you enjoy. You got more confidence. You walk around and your whole entire energy just shifts and it just becomes so much better. So again, if you do need that help, just reach out. And I hope this has been helpful to everyone who's watched this. And until next time, guys, peace.